it's a tremendous challenge. Number one team in the country returning a threat like Braxton Miller can be all over the field. He can be in the backfield. He can be out at receiver. And then whether both the quarterbacks they're playing right now, each are multi-talented. I think they both can hurt you with their running the ball, and obviously the core of receivers will definitely be the most impressive we've seen this year.
I know tackling's always an emphasis, but especially this week, you have a huge quarterback. You have big dudes out there. Is that going to be a special point of emphasis?
Well, I think last week we really made an emphasis on open field tackling, going down to play Wake Forest and be able to tackle in space. Our guys did a pretty good job of that. Till late, we had some missed tackles late in the fourth quarter. But with this crew, you've got to do a great job. Tremendous speed on the perimeter. I think whether it's the big quarterbacks running the football or that tailback's pretty tough too. So we got to do a great job of running through our tackles and being sure on the perimeter.
Coach was saying that a guy like Darius Latham can sometimes tend to, freelance and really look for the sack as opposed to staying where he's supposed to be in the scheme. I mean, how do you kind of find the balance between doing that, staying aggressive, and
Well, I think Darius is he's certainly played within the scheme this year, done a really good job for us. At times he will freelance a little bit, and has been able to make some plays. I think especially in pass rush situations, oftentimes we're giving him the ability to have a two-way go from gap control, and I think his athleticism really helped us last Saturday. Being able to have a two-way go on that guard.
A guy kind of surfaced. He had an unfortunate face mask penalty when he was just trying to grab on something. Robert McCray, hadn't seen him, but he showed up Saturday.
Right. Robert had an injury in preseason camp, and really adds, much like Nick Mangieri, adds a lot of athleticism up front. He was an outside backer for us last year. Now he's up almost close to 280, so we have him down playing defensive end, and really provides us that athleticism up front that we've obviously got some big with Ralph and Darius and Nate, big guys up front, but to add an additional athletic pass rusher like a Nick Mangieri, Zach Shaw, and I think that's what Robert McCray brings us.
He got some push too. I mean, is he a strong kid? What does he bring?
He is. He plays with great leverage, great paddle, an athlete. Okay, we had him at outside backer, so he's is used to playing in space, and so I think he gave us a spark. He hasn't. This was really his first game back, and so we're looking for more and more. Tigre Scales, I thought, really provided a jump as far as performance. Did an outstanding job, and he had missed a couple first games, so having him back to full speed was great as well.
I guess Coach McDaniel and some of those linemen have talked in the last few weeks about how they feel like the pass rush has come along, but what they wanted to see was it just finally translate into production. How important was it? I know Kendall Hinton is not Cardale Jones, but especially against maybe a dual threat QB before you go into a game like this, to see them not let him run a lot, obviously get the 6 sacks, and just generally be able to keep collapsing his pocket.
Well, I think that was a plan with Hinton. We knew that he was athletic and did want to provide huge spaces, and I think it'll be very similar to Ohio State. Their quarterbacks can hurt you with the run, so you got to be disciplined in your lane integrity from a defensive line standpoint. And so it was pleasing for us to get 6 sacks, and our guys really were conscious of not providing too much gaps in there and trying to maintain their rush lanes, and I thought did a better job at one-on-one pass rush.
You guys made Andre Brown one of the defensive players of the game. What was better about his play this game?
Well, I think for him, we chart on-the-ball production. Anytime you have a chance to make a play on the ball, and we certainly had some guys that made plays, but we felt like Andre had the highest percentage, especially in the secondary, of guys of opportunities that he had in production. And so he just keeps getting better and is a guy really counting on coming into his own here.
You talked about Tigre getting back and helping. How about Chase Dutra as well? Is he back in the football?
Chase is. We look forward to Chase. I think after being 3.5 weeks off, just getting back in that game shape. With a team like this, you have to be able to cover ground, and I think the more he plays, the more he gets back, the better he'll be in games like last weekend and what we anticipate for this week.
Has it been encouraging for you, just knowing that while the defense probably as a whole is not playing probably where you want it to be, that you're still to kind of take advantage of things, get turnovers, get sacks?
Well, I think we've been a couple areas that we wanted to emphasize going into Wake Forest was we weren't as good on third down as we'd been in the past, and so our ability, I think we were 75%. I think 4 of 18 were converted. So certainly that's an area we wanted to improve on. We showed progress definitely there, and also getting sacks. We felt like we got good pressure, and we're able to disrupt the quarterback with batted balls and whatnot in the past, but we wanted to actually get sacks. And so certainly 6 sacks is something we were looking for. We've got to be much better in the fourth quarter, and that was disappointing. I think we gave up more yards in the fourth quarter than we did in the first 3. So.
One of the plays in the fourth quarter that I'm sure was disappointing, their last touchdown, I think you only rushed 3, I think you dropped 8.
Right,
and
right.
they still get behind you. I mean, what happened?
Well, I think it was just, we had a few. When you drop 8, and in that situation we were playing 3 deep, so we need to reroute receivers and then certainly not let them behind you, and which is what we did. And so it was disappointing that we weren't at least able to compete on the ball back there, when they went vertical.
Urban Meyer was saying today that he sees you guys almost as a 4-3 the last couple of games. Is there any accuracy to that?
Well,
is that kind of?
I think we're a little bit multiple in that we want to utilize our personnel, and I think some of the personnel that we have right now, and put our guys in the best position. We're certainly using 3-4 personnel, and maybe we have been a little bit more shaded fronts than we've been in the past, but certainly we're trying to be more multiple this year.